Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, Wednesday night edition. Transformer, what's good, my man?
Man, busy life, busy times. I got to take my mind off of the Green Bay loss in the end of the season, and then the Lakers losing to the Spurs by getting outscored by 30 in the second half. So I'm trying to, keep myself busy,
right?
Throughout the course of, all these things happening in the sports world, and trying to just dig more into my personal life and what I can control. How about you, bro?
Man, I'm maintaining, man. I'm trying to hold it down, trying to make something happen. Know what I mean? So I'm definitely maintaining as well. But so far so good. And we're here and we're gonna do this show, man. Good to have you back.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. For those of you who may be watching this on the replay, good to see you. Appreciate you clicking that button. For whoever's here, good to see you as well. We'll take a couple minutes, let some people get in the chat. But in the meantime, while we wait to give you guys another great show, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do my little spiel because you know what it is. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. All right. So yeah, Transformer, we got some stuff to go over in the world of sports, man.
We do.
Yes, we do. As we can see, this is going to be a very football focused episode. Why? Because man, we're in the middle of the NFL playoffs.
This is the pinnacle of the NFL right now.
Correct.
The pinnacle.
And, I'm not going to do too much college football talking because if you're a college football fan, check out the show I did earlier with John Kennedy, host of the Always Irish Notre Dame Football Podcast, where we talked about the college football playoff. And of course, is that the dog snoring again?
You can hear that still? Jesus Christ. Let me try to wake her up, man.
Man, leave the dog. Let the dog relax, man. Dog tired, man. The dog probably been, moving in and out while you've been painting.
Because my headphones pick up everything, so I can hear everything.
Now that I know what it is, I'm like, oh man, okay, yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we you guys can check it out if you're interested. I did a pretty good show earlier today with John Kennedy, host of the Always Irish Notre Dame Football Podcast, where we discussed the college football playoff and of course, Notre Dame and Ohio State's upcoming national championship tilt. So very excited about that. Laker Nation, very first member of the show. What's good, my brother? Good to see you. Look, it's not a sad day in Lakerland, and the reason I say that is because, tough loss last night, but we know the Lakers don't stay down like that for very long, as much as I hate to admit it. So, you take that on the chin, pause, you keep moving, and, it'll be all right. So,
how you doing there, by the way, Laker Nation? How's the family? Is everybody okay? Family, friends, are they good over there? And I know it's, it's still going down over there in Cali. Prayers are still going out to everybody that's over there dealing with that tragic. Some people still Nathan, I say plan, but it is what it is.
I'll leave that alone. I call it.
I'll leave that alone too. But man, no. Most importantly, man, let us know how the family doing. Let us know how you doing, man. Friends and family, anybody who's watching, man. Absolutely prayers to your family, friends that are dealing with that fire that's going on in Cali, man. Absolutely.
Yes. All right, so I guess we're going to get started. Like we said, we got some good topics today. We're going to go over the NFL playoff wildcard weekend, since we didn't get to get with you guys on Sunday or Monday night and review that. Then we'll go into our divisional weekend pick'em, and then we'll talk, is the time up in Pittsburgh for Mike Tomlin? And finally, is Justin Herbert overrated? Quick answer, yes, and I've been saying it for years. But anyway, we'll get a little more into detail on that. But first we got a couple quick hits. Laker Nation says family's good. Okay,
Oh,
good,
overseas.
good
Okay.
to hear, man. Good to hear.
Overseas, she's in the service, or she's just overseas? Question for Laker Nation, not you, Bruce.
Right. Hey, G, man, what's good, man? Good to see you.
Gino, where you at, man?
I don't know where G.
Where you at, stupid?
Oh yeah, dummy.
Yeah, where you at, dummy? Over here choosing to jump in the comments, man. Over here choosing the wrong thing, man.
Need to choose to get up on that screen, bro.
You need to choose to open up that phone.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll take it up the road a little bit to the Ravens nemesis, the Ravens diehard arch enemy, Pittsburgh Steelers, and their head coach, Mike Tomlin. So title of this section, as you can see, title of this segment is Time Up for Tomlin. And I think that we all know kind of what we're getting for that. And I'm sorry, what we're referring to by that is time up for Tomlin. And what is that? That's basically the question of, should it be over for him in Pittsburgh? Does he need a fresh start? And there's definitely, oh, damn, I had it and I closed it out. My bad, man. We'll get you that, Bruce.
I got it.
Yeah, it was like 70 something over the last 4 games, like 74 or something like that.
Yeah, he had 62.3 versus us. I'm not gonna count Washington. He got hurt that game. 75 against Pittsburgh, 69.3 against Carolina, and 59.5 against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
That was his last 4 games.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So the question is, with Pittsburgh getting drug again, beat down and booted out of the playoffs, and not having won a playoff game since 2016, the questions keep rising. Like, even though Mike Tomlin so there's a problem, right? Is his voice getting stale in Pittsburgh? What are they going to do? Because they're always too good to get a high draft pick, but they're not bad enough. You know what I'm saying? They're not bad enough to be able to do anything. So they're stuck kind of right in the middle in limbo. They don't have the best rosters, but he keeps making miracles out of the weak rosters that he has, ends up going to the playoffs and then getting put out in the first round. So I have some sound from Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington discussing that on the Odd Couple. You guys want to hear that first, or you want to give your thoughts on this first and then hear the sound?
Let me go ahead and let him spit.
Say again?
We can go ahead and let that play.
All right, bet. Let's do that. And then when we get back, we'll start off with G and get his thoughts on whether or not he thinks maybe Tomlin should move on and go somewhere else or what.
Mike Tomlin Steelers have allowed at least 28 points in 6 straight playoff games. Yeah. The longest such streak in the NFL.
And they're supposed to be a defensive
They've given up
team.
38.3 points in 6 straight playoff games, right? Mm-hmm. The most of any team in a 6-game span in NFL. These are all the history-making, record-setting. They have lost 4 straight playoff games by at least 11 points. Another longest such streak in NFL history.
Mike,
this is not, you shouldn't have, you were 10-7 and you really overachieved and it was great that you made the playoffs. No, this is a history. His resume is soiled.
All right. So some terrible stats there on Mike Tomlin in his last 6 playoff games. Not good at all. So, like I said, we'll start with G, man. What are your thoughts on whether or not he needs to move on from Pittsburgh, or maybe Pittsburgh needs to move on from him? They probably won't do it. They've only had 3 head coaches in the last, 50 years? Since 1969, they've only had 3 head coaches, right? Chuck Noll won 4 Super Bowls with them. Bill Cowher won 1 Super Bowl, appeared in 2. And then Mike Tomlin for the last 18 years won 1 Super Bowl, appeared in 2. G, go ahead. Your thoughts, man.
I think the biggest question here is who do you replace him with, right? With so many teams that's like changing coaches, like you could pick the wrong coach and never go back to dreamland, right? Like thus far, when you look at the league and how many coaches in the league that has won Super Bowls, he's in like the top 5. I think there's not a lot of coaches that's won the chip. And so as a coach, you want somebody with that tenure that's been to that big dance and has been successful. I think if you give up on Tomlin now, he'll definitely have another. A lot of teams will fire their coach to pick him up, so he'll probably be on the market next to no time. If I'm a Steelers fan, maybe not your quarterback, but your coach. That's one you want. That's a culture. That's a culture change, right? Like Dallas is going through a culture change now, and they don't know what their future is going to look like with the next coach. And so it's one thing like not having a quarterback. There's another thing not having a coach that you really can say, you know what, we ready to stand on business. Like this dude is definitely a proven winner. He's been doing it in the last 8. I think a few bad seasons without a real legitimate quarterback. You got a Rental and Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. You drafted Pickett. He was a bust, right? But he rolled it out with him and he tried to coach him just like any other coach would do. It didn't work out for him, and so he went and picked up 2 Reynolds. I think the next move that he make will probably be his best move. I think he'll pick up. I wouldn't be surprised if they went and drafted up to get a really good quarterback or found one, because I don't think Pickett was on anybody's radar last year. I mean, the year before last. I don't think he was.
He was on mine slightly.
He was slightly on yours, but you
before the love thing.
Yeah, he went win the Super Bowl, and much of that, like it was a lot of things that was going wrong with those guys. I'm not going to talk too much to this, but the Steelers would definitely put themselves at a disadvantage not having a legitimate QB1 and then not having a coach, right? Like you got to have one or the other. Just point blank period. So yeah, I don't think so, bro. I think he'll stay there as long as he wants.
Transform.
He's out of there. Get him out of there. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I would want to leave. You're 0-5 in your last 5 playoff games, right? You have never had a losing season in what, 18 years? How long have you been there? 18 years?
18 years.
Right? The voice, it's only so much you can say. It's only so much you can coach to a team. But if it goes one ear and out the other now, it's time for a new face. It's time for a change of scenery, right? I don't think that organization is on the right path of keeping Mike Tomlin because of how they're designed to win football games. They're a run football team, right? The league itself is transitioning to a pass-heavy type of league, right? Get a quarterback, 250, 300 yards, like playmaker ability quarterbacks. To me, that's not the Pittsburgh Steelers style. That's not their way. And I just feel like at this point and at this juncture, your defense is now getting blown out the door as well, right? Your defense is now getting blown out the door. So obviously you're a defensive-minded coach. You're like, damn, so now the defense isn't listening. You can't get anything going on the offense. It's time for a new face. It's time for you to go somewhere else. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I would want to leave. Pittsburgh probably wants to keep him, but if I'm Mike Tomlin, I would want to go.
The organization wants to keep him. Pittsburgh fans want him up out of there.
I mean, that's what I meant. I meant the organization probably wants to keep him.
Okay,
the fans also want him gone. But if I'm Mike Tomlin, I would want that change of scenery. You look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid was a beast coach in Philly. In the last couple of seasons, he, wasn't too great. Things kind of sprouted out of hand. I think Mike Vick had, finally that train really hit his head, and they couldn't really get things going. The moment he got to Kansas City, that man has yet to lose more than 10 games. I mean, win less than 10 games in a season. 3 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowl appearances. He was able to immediately get that team on the right path because he's that great of a coach. I think Mike Tomlin is that great of a coach. He can go to a team, a different team, new face, new coach, new face, new voice, new stronger voice to help lead a team into a better direction. So I think it'll benefit him if he was to leave Pittsburgh. You said is 3 coaches in 60 years?
Yeah, 1969.
He's been at 18. That sounds about right for the average. 20,
yeah,
20, 20.
There you go.
Sounds about right. So it's time for a new face.
Could be. So there's some questions to ask about this, though, right? So yes, the voice can get stale, but here's the question: has he really had autonomy as the head coach? Right? This guy is what the most tenured head coach in the game now, right? And what was it? Either last year or the year before, he had to ask permission to fire a bad OC. Like what head coach has to do that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not good. So they're not giving him autonomy, even though they've been loyal to him and not firing him. Then you say, okay, the Steelers tend to have an elite scouting department at the wide receiver position. However, what wide receivers do they have besides George Pickens? I'll wait.
No.
Right. So even if you had a quarterback, what's that quarterback going to do without any weapons? I'm not a big Russ Wilson guy anymore, but I mean, in fairness, who's he throwing to? You know what I'm saying? Najee Harris got just over 1,000 yards this year. Okay, cool. But they're still not, they don't have an elite running back. They can run it, but they don't have an elite running back. Okay, so we see they don't have an elite running back. They don't have elite weapons on the outside. Freiermuth is okay, but I don't know. Let me see. I don't know how many games he played this year. I don't know how reliable he is in terms of his health. I'll tell you in a second. But even with all of that, right? So we say Pittsburgh is a defensive team. Okay, I definitely respect that. Here goes the problem. Elite defensive team, but guess what? You ask yourself, besides Minka Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt, who can we name on that defense? They spend 60% of their payroll on defense. And I know you're going to say Patrick Queen probably, G, but like, is he really? You know what I'm saying? There's a reason we let that dude walk. You know what I'm saying? So the question is
I would never say Patrick Queen.
Okay, so
I seen him get blown up at the line of scrimmage too many times to say that he is nothing more than just a bargain deal for a linebacker.
Right. So the only reason I said that was because when I was saying like how many defenders can we name, right? And I know you can name Patrick Queen just because. So the point I'm trying to make is they spend 60% of their cap on defense, but who are the defenders they're paying? They're paying Minka and TJ Watt. Like, who else?
You know what I'm saying? So Highsmith, right? They're paying him.
Are they really?
I think they're paying him.
All right, fair enough. I'll even give you that. But I guess my question here, Mark with glasses, what up? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. My question here is, what are the Steelers legitimately doing to support Mike Tomlin? Yes, it's been a while. Yes, sometimes the voice can get stale. Yes, sometimes you need a new spot, right? But what have they legitimately done to support this dude? Honestly, they made him keep Big Ben too long, right? They kept letting Big Ben hang around when he was well past his prime. And then he got stuck with freaking Kenny Pickett and who was the other guy? Trubisky. Like,
yeah, so, Mr. Trubisky was over there
for like a 3 or 4 year stretch. He didn't have a quality quarterback. Now he's got Russell Wilson, who I don't necessarily believe in, and Justin Fields. But even if I did believe in those guys, they don't have the weapons to throw to. So it's like, what does Mike Tomlin really have? This is why it's so amazing. And I'm not a Steelers fan, but that's why it's so amazing that this dude manages to make, chicken salad out of chicken-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not supporting the dude. Now, if he wanted to move on, fine. But would they, do they really have grounds to say, okay, we want to get rid of this dude? Nah, not really, because the support is not there. That's all I'm saying. So, like, I think we have to look at it both ways. But again, would it be, it's not that serious. What's good, bro? Thank you for stopping in, man. Thank you for stopping in. But yeah, would it be better if he was to be with a new organization where the voice is fresh? And see, the thing is, G mentioned culture. I think the Steelers culture is always going to be the Steelers culture because they would never hire a coach that's going to come in there and be on some BS, right? It might not be Mike Tomlin next time, but it's not going to be a coach that's going to be on some nonsense. The Steelers culture is in those walls. Like, for instance, I would got played like a Raven, G. I don't know what the Steelers say, but I'm sure they have something similar up there, right? That culture is in the walls. It ain't just a coach. You know what I'm saying? That organization has that culture from the top. And so that's why I say, like, that's not so much a concern. But yeah, I just think before we want to push Tomlin out the door, again, if he wanted to leave because he doesn't feel that he's being supported and he put that out there, that's cool. But before we or anyone else pushes him out the door, we have to be objective and fair in acknowledging that they haven't done a good enough job in supporting him. What do you all think about that?
No, I don't think that he
Go
deserves
ahead,
to be
T-Bone.
pushed out the door. I
Mhm.
think my opinion is that I would think he should
Mhm.
walk out the door. That's
Okay,
that's
I
my
got
opinion.
you.
I think he should walk out the door,
Mhm.
not get pushed out. I don't think Pittsburgh
Yeah.
got the damn balls to push him out the door.
Right.
Right? And like at that point, like on what grounds? Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but I think he should walk out the door.
I think
You
the
know what I mean?
Bears would sell their soul to have Mike Tomlin today.
I would be pissed to all types of
I think
festivity
any
if he came over there.
team would sell their soul to have Mike Tomlin. He's definitely not only a culture builder, but if you look
Mhm.
at the AFC North, like if how can I put it? There hasn't been a time that like that the just the level of football that we play, right? When it comes to just smash mouth, building defenses, like yeah, I'm only gonna talk about Lamar for 20 seconds, but what I will say is if you have a solid defense, right, that's
Mhm.
gonna echo amongst the entire NFL because you already have those pieces on offense most times. Right now, what
Mhm.
we saying is we saying a slightly like immature defense and an immature offense in the Steelers. And until he can do both, right? Tell
Mhm.
I give
Mhm.
him another year, they're gonna be a problem, bro. They're gonna be a
Mhm.
problem. The Steelers are definitely a couple pieces away from dominating um
Mhm.
the league. I don't think they're gonna get rid of him because they only a few
I
pieces
don't think so
missing,
either.
man. Like you
Yeah.
look at the last time they won the Super Bowl, man. They had it on every level. You look at us
Mhm.
last year, we moved a couple pieces around. Now we looking like, hey, there
Mhm.
we echoing like domination across the league right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Detroit did it all year.
Mhm.
Who else? Detroit was that all year. I can't say the Eagles, they imploded most of the time. But if you look at like what it takes to build a culture, man, it ain't just offense. Offense
No,
don't
it's
get it
not.
done. You have to
No.
get those
I
stops.
think culture more often than not comes from the defense because the defense
Absolutely.
is physical and they have the mindset to your point of domination. So I think
Mhm.
you're right.
Well, you look at the Vikings when they won what 16, 17 games. And they got in the league and then they got in the playoffs and got mollywhopped because they didn't
Mhm.
have defense. It was just all offense. They couldn't stop nobody. And
But that's crazy because they had
Talking about this
defense
year?
all year.
This year they had a good defense with Brian
no, I'm not
Flores over
talking
there.
this shit. I'm talking about when you
Oh,
had
okay.
Oh, you talking about when they went
Culpepper and
15-1?
Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
need
was
those
vicious.
teams, man.
Yeah.
You have to be a complete team, and that falls on the coach's back, I believe, more than the GM because the coach is just dealing with what they got to deal with, and so there was a lot of holes. Even though you look at Pickett, right? Not
Mhm.
Pickett, Pickens. What's his
Pickens.
name?
George Pickens, the wide receiver.
The wide receiver, yeah. So they got
Yeah,
somebody to
Pickens.
build around. They got somebody to build
Mhm.
around. They got a 6'8". I think his name number 80. He like a 6'8" tight end, bro. Like
Mhm.
they got pieces. They just missing something.
Fairmouth.
It's yeah, they
Frymouth, yeah.
missing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he missing a chromosome or what, but they missing something, bro.
Okay.
And and once they get that shit together, they gonna be a problem, bro. They gonna be a
Mhm.
problem. Yeah, we put belt the ass, but that's Mike Tomlin. He not taking that like next year. That's not gonna happen. Oh, I like
Wait,
that.
what was that?
Boots the asses. That's what we said. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Oh,
Boots to asses.
but
there you go.
as I say, I think time up for Tomlin. We gotta talk
Mhm.
about Jaden Daniels, man. He just dethroned somebody who was in the league for a while. Baker, what they call him, touchdown
Touchdown
maker.
maker.
Yeah, he
Well,
just
guess what? On
gorilla,
Sunday,
bro. They
he
said
Baker
that might
break a
have been the
turnover
best
maker,
game.
so
Yeah, they said that might have been the best game we saw all weekend.
that was a really good game.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
yeah. I
Really
would
good
say
game.
that was the best
Yeah,
game all weekend.
yeah,
Uh,
a
Yeah,
rookie, bro, a rookie.
yeah,
He came in that motherfucker looked like he was 5 years in.
yeah.
yeah, he
Everybody
balling.
He
else,
looked like
everybody else was a blowout.
yeah, he looked
Yeah.
like he was 5 years in, man. Like Shorty
Mhm.
stood in there and did his thing, man. Shout out
Yeah,
to the
he balling.
Commanders. I know they've been going through a lot of shit with Snyder and that whole little
They about to go home
little
though. I know that.
yeah.
Anyway,
We'll
that's a different
see. We'll see. Any given Sunday, man. Like
facts. Facts.
yeah, if you can beat Baker Mayfield, why can't you beat Jared Goff?
Well, Detroit's just a better team overall.
Okay.
Detroit's better.
And
But
Detroit
that's a
Dolphins
whole different thing.
crazy, crazy.
I can't name 3 defenders on the Detroit Lions team right now. Can't do it.
Yeah, but and I feel you on that, but
Sorry,
the
I'm
way
trying to, bro. And my mind it's just not 3 players to
I
stand
got
up.
the linebacker.
Maybe it's
Deion
Anzalone.
Branch.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Deion Branch.
Yeah.
Shit, the guys I want to name, they gone. They not there.
Hold on, no. Hold on.
So
You know
it's
that-
level
you
ground
know that
is what I'm
some-
saying.
But you know that sometimes there's some teams that might not have the big name players, but just are coached so well and play so well. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens.
We watch
You
all
might-
the games here, bro. We watch all the games. We don't miss games.
Nah,
When
but
Detroit play, we watch
missing
Detroit.
you missing the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes it's not all about the names. Sometimes it's about the team and the way they play. But regardless,
By committee. I get it. By committee.
yeah, exactly. But regardless, so I think we all agree that Tomlin shouldn't get fired. But if it was,
he does. Fire. That would be just blatantly disrespectful.
it would. Because
Now
he hasn't been
released
supported the way he should.
mutual ways, parting mutual ways. That's what I want to see. Parting.
Mhm.
You put fired next to Mike Tomlin name, sell your franchise.
Well, you heard he basically said that because I guess he's hearing the rumors of he might get traded or people want to come talk to him, and he told him basically save your breath. That's what he said.
He has a no trade clause.
I guess he wants it. Does he?
Yeah, some teams already called about trading for him, and that's when they found out. They was like, yeah, he has a no trade clause.
Wow,
so you got to talk to him.
Tomlin, a bad man.
I was like, bro, I didn't know coaches could have no trade clause.
I didn't know either, but he needs to demand that he gets more support, or he'd be out. He needs to demand that he gets more support.
Shout out to the Ravens, man, for re-signing Deontay Johnson, man. I think we put some bad press out on him, and then saying that he didn't want to play in the clutch, but then it ended up being that we might have put some bad. Yeah, he just got cut by the Texans and shit, and we re-signed him, man. Like that was dope. I thought that was really cool.
Fifth signing this year would have been to Carolina, Pittsburgh, Texans, and then Baltimore twice. That's crazy work.
Yeah,
something wrong with you at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
with you.
Maybe CTE is real though. I will say that.
Yeah,
CTE is real, bro. Like it affects these players in ways we have no idea, man. And
Tyler, it's too late.
Shout out
Ravens. I mean, for the Chiefs. I mean, for him to get put on.
This is going to sound bad though. Yeah, CTE is real and it affects people. It's going to sound bad. You chose to play this game, man. You could have done something else. You made that choice.
Sir, you have no idea what the effects of CTE is. CTE
I didn't say I do.
No, I'm just saying, like, you have no effects, man. And like, it's almost like saying, oh yeah, you chose to join the military. Now your leg blown up. And
that's exactly what I said. We all made that choice when we signed that line. We all did. We all made that choice. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't get disability compensation? No.
Christ.
But
there is no disability. There is no disability for a kid in college, man, to get CTE. That's the part of that.
Okay, I
missing,
understand
bro.
that,
like,
good.
Ooh, Kirby Joseph. I don't
have much. I don't have much to say about that, man. But it's just, yes, it is, and the game is fucked up. But at the same time, they are trying to do things on lower levels to like ensure that people aren't like losing their mind after they get hit. Like your motherfucking marbles are scrambled at the you tear into somebody for somebody else's entertainment. And so when I say that, I'm saying it because this is a kids game and nobody should lose their motherfucking marbles for playing a kids game. That's the only thing I'm saying, bro. Like they not fighting like we fought, bro. Like it's not happening. They throwing the football around, bro.
There's no way you can make a physical and violent game less physical and violent. You could try, but at the end of the day, that's going to be what it's going to be. And everybody who plays it knows that there is that inherent risk. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you got to tell that to the families who are dealing with people who
really
the game. Yes, sir. You got to tell it to the families who playing the game.
About the parents or like the spouses and children?
The families, bro. The family. That's everybody involved who signed
Okay,
up
so
to
I'm
play
not
a
telling it
game.
to the
Because I
parents that
played
put the
football. I played football. I played
right,
basketball. I played
right.
baseball, ran track. You know what I'm saying? I did that shit, but I
I
didn't
got you.
stay in football long enough to the point where my marbles would get scrambled. And like
And
you
I
see it, yo. Like there's
mhm.
some people that can't even function after this shit. And I know it's like, oh yeah, this isn't one of those noble things we want to talk about. What we did out there and what they doing in the States is totally different, dog. It's not even like the same. It's not. They like putting their life on the line for next to nothing. Because after it happens, there is no honor in this shit, bro. Like it's no honor. Like you seen motherfucking seven football players get carted off the field, man. It's no honor in that. Like they're not fighting for their country, man. They doing this shit for entertainment. And so, if nothing else, man,
Right.
like we definitely got to tip our hats to them. But we can't say, "Oh yeah, you signed up for this shit." And
What? All right, you got it.
yeah,
Because I will continue
it's
to say
different,
that.
yo. It's
You could have
different,
done
bro.
something else. You
It's
made a choice.
different, bro. It's different,
Okay.
bro.
All right.
It's different.
Cool.